Have you ever wondered if the birth of Jesus was just a random event, or if it was part of a much larger cosmic plan? For thousands of years, people have been captivated by the story of a baby born in a humble manger in Bethlehem, a story that would change the course of history. But what if I told you that this event wasn't a surprise at all? What if it was foretold centuries, even millennia, in advance, written down by prophets who had a glimpse into the future? Today, we're going on an incredible journey back in time, not just to the first century, but deep into the pages of the Old Testament. We're going to uncover the amazing web of prophecies that pointed directly to the birth of Jesus. It's like a divine scavenger hunt, with clues scattered throughout ancient texts, all leading to one specific moment in one specific town. Let's start with perhaps the most famous web prophecy. The prophet Micah, writing over 700 years before Jesus was born, made an incredibly specific prediction. In Micah chapter 5 verse 2, he wrote, "But you Bethlehem Ephratah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." Think about that for a second. Micah didn't just say the Messiah would come from Judah. He pinpointed the exact town, Bethlehem. This wasn't a major city like Jerusalem or Babylon. It was a small, seemingly insignificant village. Why Bethlehem? It was the hometown of King David, Israel's greatest king, and the Messiah was prophesied to be a descendant of David. This prophecy connects the future ruler back to the royal line, grounding this divine event in real-world history and lineage. And when the time came, how did a carpenter from Nazareth and his pregnant wife end up in Bethlehem? A journey of about 90 miles. A government decree. The Roman Emperor, Caesar Augustus, ordered a census requiring everyone to return to their ancestral town to be registered. So Joseph, being from the house and line of David, had to travel to Bethlehem. It's a stunning example of how historical events, even those set in motion by a powerful pagan emperor, can work to fulfill a divine ancient prophecy. It is as if the hand of God was moving the pieces on a global chessboard to ensure everything happened exactly as foretold. But the where is just one piece of the puzzle. What about the when? The prophet Daniel, who lived in Babylon around 600 BC, provides some incredible clues. In Daniel chapter 9, he records a vision about 77s or 70 weeks. Now, most scholars interpret these weeks as periods of 7 years. The prophecy outlines a timeline starting from the decree to rebuild Jerusalem. It details a period of 69 weeks of years, which is 483 years, leading up to the arrival of the Anointed One, the Messiah. While the exact calculations can get complex with different starting points for the decree and calendar variations. Many theologians have shown how this timeline points with remarkable accuracy to the time of Jesus' ministry. It suggests that the Messiah wouldn't just appear at any random time in history, but at a very specific, divinely appointed moment. It's a prophecy that required not just faith, but also a bit of math. Now let's talk about the how. The circumstances of Jesus' birth were highly unusual, and unbelievably these were also predicted. The prophet Isaiah, writing around the same time as Micah, gave a prophecy that has puzzled and amazed people for centuries. In Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, he declares, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Immanuel." The idea of a virgin birth was, and still is, extraordinary. It signifies that this child would be unique, not born of ordinary human lineage alone, but as a direct work of God. The name Immanuel itself is a prophecy, as it means God with us. This wasn't just going to be another prophet or a great king. This would be the very presence of God dwelling among humanity. This single verse from Isaiah encapsulates the miraculous nature and divine identity of the promised Messiah. Isaiah doesn't stop there. In chapter 9, he gives us one of the most beautiful and powerful descriptions of this coming child. He writes, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Let's break that down. These aren't just poetic titles. They're descriptions of his character and mission. Wonderful Counselor speaks of his divine wisdom. Mighty God points directly to his divinity, a concept that was radical. Everlasting Father shows his eternal nature and his caring, paternal relationship with his people. And Prince of Peace declares his ultimate purpose to bring through lasting peace between God and humanity, and among people themselves. Isaiah was painting a portrait of a king unlike any the world had ever known. The prophecies also foretold the tragic events that would surround his birth. Think about the story of King Herod, who, upon hearing from the Magi about the birth of the King of the Jews, flew into a paranoid rage. His attempt to kill the infant Jesus by ordering the massacre of all male children in Bethlehem is a horrific part of the Nativity story, but even this terrible event was foreshadowed. The prophet Jeremiah, writing during the fall of Jerusalem, penned a heartbreaking lament. In Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 15, it says, "A voice is heard in Ramah, mourning and great weeping. Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more." Matthew's Gospel directly connects this verse to the slaughter in Bethlehem. Rachel, an ancestral mother of Israel buried near Bethlehem, is poetically pictured weeping for her lost descendants. It shows that even in the midst of unspeakable tragedy, God's prophetic word holds true, weaving even the darkest human actions into his sovereign plan. We also have prophecies about who would recognize him. While the powerful King Herod sought to destroy him, humble shepherds were the first to receive the announcement of his birth from angels. This aligns with the theme throughout the scriptures that God often reveals himself to the humble and overlooked. Furthermore, wise men, magi, from the east saw his star and traveled a great distance to worship him. This fulfills prophecies like the one in Numbers 24, where Balaam foresees a star will come out of Jacob, a scepter will rise out of Israel. It suggests that the Messiah's significance wouldn't just be for the nation of Israel, but for the entire world. Gentiles, people from other nations, would also seek him and come to worship him. When you put all these pieces together, the picture that emerges is truly breathtaking. We have the place, Bethlehem. We have the time, pinpointed by Daniel. We have the miraculous manner of his birth from a beard. We have his divine nature and titles, Immanuel, Mighty God, Prince of Peace. We even have the tragic political reaction and the international recognition he would receive. This isn't just one or two lucky guesses. It's a complex, interwoven tapestry of predictions made by different people in different centuries, all converging on one person, Jesus of Nazareth. Each prophet added a new layer, a new detail, building a composite sketch of the Messiah so detailed that when he finally arrived, those who knew the scriptures could recognize him. The prophecies surrounding the birth of Jesus served as a powerful foundation for the Christian faith. They demonstrate that the story of Christmas is not a myth or a legend that grew over time. Instead, it is the intentional, dramatic climax of a story that God had been writing since the dawn of time. It shows a God who is intimately involved in human history, who makes promises and keeps them, and who planned the most incredible rescue mission for humanity. So, this Christmas season, or any time you think about the birth of Jesus, remember the prophets, remember Micah, Isaiah, Daniel, and Jeremiah. Their ancient words echo through the millennia, reminding us that the baby in the manger was no ordinary child. He was the fulfillment of ages of hope, the promise made tangible, the king who was foretold. It's a story of divine planning, incredible accuracy, and profound love. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the prophecies of Jesus' birth. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the incredible depths of history and faith. Let me know in the comments which prophecy stands out to you the most. Until next time, stay curious,